indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And roll call. Larry?
Here.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Here.
Joey?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
And the regular town board meeting, date July 8th, 2013. Time 7 p.m. at the Altona Town Hall, Altona, New York. Supervisor Ross called the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance, board members present. Supervisor Larry Ross, Jeannie Bushy, Herb Carrion, Ronnie Lavarge, Joey Snide. Others present, Deputy Supervisor Ellen Montgomery, Attorney Joseph Lavarando, Highway Superintendent Fred Terrian. Minutes of the June 10th, 2013 meeting were read and accepted with a correction to an error for resolution number 48, sidewalks. The cost not to exceed should have been $16,250, not $1625 as written. Minutes of a workshop meeting were held on June 13th, 2013. Motion by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 55, sand bid award. Motion by Herb, second by Jeannie. The motion was adopted. To accept the screened road sand bid from Roswell Beeman, loaded on town trucks at $5.48 per cubic yard. The 4,000 yards of sand will be available by September 1st, 2013. A non-conclusive bidder's certificate was submitted with this bid. Vote all ayes. New York State DOT conducted its evaluation of the town's request for a speed limit on the Burnell Road. They have determined that a lower speed zone was not warranted at this time. However, they advised appropriate warning signs could identify places along the road that would require driver's attention. The Clinton County Highway Department is willing to assist the town in a joint field review. Resolution number 56, Secretary of State / claim notice. Motion by Joey Snide, seconded by Jeannie Bushy. The motion was adopted. To approve the attached resolution as written, in reference to General Municipal Law number 53, in reference to the filing of a claim upon a town. Vote all ayes. Time Warner is upgrading. Starting on or about July 23rd, 2013, some channels will be delivered in digital format only. Resolution number 57, transfers. Motion by Ronnie, seconded by Herb. The motion was adopted. The transfer requested is from account A1430.12, Personal Services, Secretary to the Supervisor, to account A1220.4, Supervisors, Contractual. Amount requested, $2,500. The transfer being requested is for mileage and expenses being paid to temporary fill-in as a Secretary to the Supervisor. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 58, executive session. Motion by Jeannie, seconded by Joey. The motion was adopted. The session is to discuss pending lawsuits and personnel issues. Entered into at 7:40 p.m. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 59, end executive session. Motion by Jeannie, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. Executive session ended at 8:35 p.m. Vote all ayes. A letter from Clinton County Youth Bureau has been received with information in the changing of funding. Historically, funding has been awarded in the form of state aid to localities. Beginning January 1st, 2014, localities will be required to apply competitively to the Youth Bureau for funding local programs. Resolution number 60, Supervisors Report. Motion by Jeannie, seconded by Ronnie. The motion was adopted. To accept the Supervisors Report as presented. Vote all ayes. Resolution number 61, approval of bills. Motion by Joey, seconded by Herb. The motion was adopted. To pay the bills as presented. Prepaid, General Fund, $10,723.76. Streetlight District Number 1, $824.45. Streetlight District Number 21, $164.28. Trust and Agency, $693.71. Total, $12,000. $406.20. Unpaid general fund, $10,785.98. Highway, $127,397.60. Streetlight District Number 1, $820.84. Streetlight District Number 21, $163.63. Trust and Agency, $195.50. Total, $139,363.55. Vote all ayes. Motion to adjourn by Joey, seconded by Ronnie. Vote all ayes. Meeting adjourned at 8:45 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Carol Relation, Town Clerk.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as read.
I'll second it.
And a vote, please. Jeannie?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Okay, first thing on the agenda, Feinberg Park. We've had a little go around with the beach. The beach got washed out in the last flood, and all our signs and all our ropes and all that stuff got washed away, so we didn't open the beach for quite a while. And apparently, they got us mixed up. When they called me, they were talking about mowers, and I said, you got the wrong supervisor. I just called my son over mowers. I don't want to get bitched at for something that's going on over there, but they had us mixed together for some reason. They were talking about people from there and campsites from there and everything else, but at the same time, they said they had come up. Our beach was open at that time. She tried to open it. They said that she didn't send them a letter. Well, she never sends a letter, so we just only open it. But at any rate, they closed it, and they want to have a meeting with me before they would consider opening it. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or not, if we're going to be able to get it open back up. They've always been against having it in the river, but we've been lucky enough that we haven't had any problems up till now, and I try to do everything they ask of us so that we don't get in trouble with it. But I don't know, I got to go to a meeting at any rate and try to see that we can get it open again for another year, if not the rest of this year. It's funny because people can walk so many feet down the river and they can go anywhere they want, but anyway.
Think about putting a pool in there, maybe.
As we can save for a pool, we would.
Sure.
That's and of course that's not easy either, because you have with that comes to taking care of all the chemicals and stuff. So that's another issue. But when one of the agents came and he's told me that if we didn't have the stuff on the beach, if we closed the beach to the public, the park could just use it at their own risk, and that's what I assumed we were doing until she got all upset this morning. So I don't know if it's a mix-up in places or if it's really going to be some big hassle. I don't know. But at any rate, Governor's office passed a law. Smoking restrictions certain outdoor areas. Smoking shall not be permitted, and no person shall smoke during the hours between sunrise and sunset when one or more persons under the age of 12 are present at any playground. Well, that's where the playground equipment is. And we got 2 stations for playground equipment, and we've got the basketball court and the tennis court. So this law, as this law goes to an effect, which is October 10th, those signs have to be up. So there had a place there we could get free signs, so I applied for those and got them, so I'll stick them in those 4 locations where the playground equipment is. That should take care of that. And we got another notice from New York State Department of Taxation and Finance, it says Brian F. Moon hereby certified that July 23rd, 2013, State Office of Real Property Tax Services established a final state equalization rate of 100 for the above named municipality, and that's us. And I was looking at the last page of it, and it tells all the different towns, and they're all at 100%, but if you look way to the right, it's a percentage change in estimate of full evaluation. And I was looking at Altona, we're 0.15%, or, yeah, 0.15%
They don't
in
have
column
that,
C.
Larry.
Okay. Column C says, column C is a percentage change in the estimate of full value between the 2012 state equalization rate and 2013 state equalization rate due to the change in full value standard. The percentage change is important because county and school taxes are apportioned according to a municipality's share of the full value of the county or the school. Municipality will be apportioned a larger share of the tax levy if its full value increases by a larger percentage than others, and ours does, more than 11 out of 15. Or if its full value decreases less than the decrease of the other municipalities. So we're increasing more than 11 out of the 15, so we'll get a bit bigger portion just by that. So he's doing a pretty good job in there, keeping us on the right track. Number 3 is annual report. As you know from before, we weren't closed since October of 2010, and John got right on that. He has closed 10, 11, and 12. They're all closed, they're all filed with the state, and we're all up to date and back on track. So that's quite a feat. They couldn't believe it at the state level when he sent it all to them. So at this point, we now know where everything is. We're all back on track where we're supposed to be. Just for your information that they're all filed. I had to go to a meeting for FEMA. And Fred did some work. We had a washout on the Harvey Road, and Fred took pretty good notes. I went to a meeting, was in Plattsburgh there one day in Plattsburgh, to register us as a town that needed reimbursement on this, and there was a whole packet of paperwork to do. I filled it out while I was there, and handed it back in, so we're registered. All I have to do on this is to add on the labor and the benefits. And I just wanted to get with you on the proper number of hours, and then figure out the benefits, and then they'll be all ready to go when they send the paperwork back through. So that'll be, I'm not sure what the total will be. The total without the labor and the benefits was over $6,000, so it'll be a pretty good shot to get back.
You can use the labor then?
They said put labor
They
in.
told me you couldn't, as long as it was on regular hours, only overtime hours is in.
Well, he didn't say that down there, so we'll see what happens. We'll put it in with labor and we'll put it in with benefits. He said make sure you added the benefits, so we'll see what we can get. That would be good to get that money back. Number 5, Williamson Software, and I talked to most of the board members already about this to get approval on it. Our software had some mistakes in it, and also was difficult during the audit because it wasn't anything that they had any control of, that knowledge of, and it made it a little difficult. We're at the point now where the new secretary is ready to be trained. If we keep our same system we have, we gotta pay $350 to upgrade it. If we're gonna make a change, now would be the time. I recommended this Williamson because that was kind of what, it only is sold to New York State, and it's set up right with the comptroller's office. It goes in line with it, the reports that you need. It does a lot of the accounting, like in ours, you have to enter in 2 different places. I think there's 4 entries to 1 on this one. This one takes care of it once you plug it in. I would I got permission from the board to go to this, and I've already sent for it. So I just wanted you to add that to the minutes that.
So do we need a resolution for that at this point, or?
Are you authorizing the purchase order?
Yeah, so I guess we would need a resolution to
Do you know
purchase
what
it.
the amount might be?
Well,
Or amount not to exceed?
I would say if we put, I'm guessing now, not to exceed, I'm making it high because I don't know, but not to exceed 10,000 maybe.
Yeah.
That way, we'd make sure that we're under. That's for all the training, that's for the program, that's both programs, the accounting and the payroll account. It's the support and it's the training, the whole works, so. It's less than that, but I don't dare to quote the exact price, because I don't know how many hours are gonna be here. So, need a
So
motion
I'll
for
make
that.
a motion
I'll second.
authorizing the supervisor to purchase the new software not to exceed $10,000.
And a vote please, Joey,
Yes.
Ronnie,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jeannie,
Yes.
Larry.
Yes. I had Mindy get the state contract for me. We ran into a little hassle with our truck. Wouldn't shift. We sent it to Riley's, and in the meantime, they tried to inspect it. Well, it wouldn't pass inspection. The frame's so rusty, you put your finger through it, so it won't pass inspection. So right now, we're short a truck. Gerald's driving his own at this point, and he's using the other one just inside the park. I know that when it's an emergency, you really don't have to wait, you can buy it. But I wanna make sure that, I already talked to Riley's to see if they could match the state contract price, he's trying to do that. The state contract's out of East Rochester, so it's hard to, deal with it, but.
What's the cost that you're talking about?
It's, well, it depends on what we end up with, but it's gonna be roughly 30 to 35,000, I think, is what it's gonna be. And it's, he would like a diesel if he could get it, that way we wouldn't have, different fuel for different trucks going out. They didn't have any at Riley's at this point. They've got one down there right now is a gas job, it's a V8 gas job. Everything else was what you wanted, but that part wasn't it. That'll be roughly 30, I think.
So this is a pickup truck, what year was that truck?
What was what truck?
The one that didn't pass inspection?
You know what right year?
2000.
2000?
Yeah.
Rusted right through. We're trying to get it welded, but they gotta have a certified welder to weld it, and I don't know how long it'll last when it's done. I don't want anybody to get hurt with it. We use it for dog control officer also, and you don't want somebody getting hurt with it.
Is that an F-150?
Yeah. So anyways, we're looking for a truck, and I just got a hold of Riley's on it, and state contract, so we'll try to work out something between the two places. I don't know if we should wait, or can I pull the board, or what to do with that.
Well, we can do a motion on not to exceed 35 or whatever. if it's all right.
Wait, you're gonna have to competitively bid.
Who has to go out for bid?
Well, it doesn't if it's an emergency.
If- Well,
We're short a truck right now, so it kinda is, and also, if they match the state contract, that doesn't work.
no, even if they're less than the state contract, you
Still have
which
to
makes
go
no
with it.
sense at all.
Right.
But
Okay.
you have to bid it.
Alright, so
And,
if we either gotta go out to bid, or if we buy it under the emergency thing, I suppose we could do that, that's,
Well, but you have to be careful of that too. Emergency means an imminent emergency. If you can wait a few weeks, then,
well, actually, we should've had it already, cause,
Yeah.
we have nothing for the dog control officer or Gerald at the park right at this point.
Just wanna make sure if the board declares an emergency, that you specify the facts upon which you come to the conclusion that the emergency does exist.
Okay, and if we did that, then we could poll the board in that case, otherwise we'll put it out to bid, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be, the board would declare the emergency on the basis of a resolution.
How many miles a year would that second truck run approximately?
How many miles a year? Well, it depends on what we have for dog control, the dog control officer, how many miles he goes, it's hard to tell.
My only question is, the diesel's somewhere around $7,000 or $8,000 extra. If it's a real low use truck, you know, you can buy a lot of gas for $7,000 or $8,000 difference.
Oh, well, the truck, we're talking about the diesel would be the one Fred uses, that's got 100 and, I don't know.
130 on it.
130 on it, that gets used pretty heavy.
Right.
Because that's during the winter and stuff. Well, I agree with you, you can buy a lot of gas for the extra, that's right. But we're looking at it to see if it makes sense or not, we haven't made a decision on it, we wanna check it out, see if it's gonna make sense to do, or maybe it won't. Depends on how much difference there are, if there's that big a difference, it probably would. So, we'll leave it at that, well, right now, we'll see what plays out on that when they get back to us, and see what we're talking for money too, so. Got a letter from Ambit Energy. He said, on behalf of the entire Ambit Energy team, we'd like to apologize for an error discovered on your account due to delay in processing your usage records. We were unable to invoice you for your electricity usage from 3/16 to 5/14 until now. So there's an additional fee of $315.07. I think it happened to everyone. It wasn't just Ambit Energy. It's something to do with the electric company itself. It wasn't just Ambit. So I think a lot of them got that. Number 8 on there, NBT credit card. I want to ask the board if I can apply for a credit card through our bank, because everything I purchase, you used to be able to take a paper with your tax ID number and they wouldn't charge you tax. Well, they don't do that anymore. You have to go through this whole process. And depends on where you go or where you go. Well, it's a half hour sitting there for them to see whether they're gonna tax you or not tax you, kind of thing. So what I've been doing is paying it out of my pocket, but it's getting a little old, because one purchase was $200, that was a pretty good shot, and then I had another one for 80, and different things we needed. So I have to suck up the tax myself, because there's no way to charge it to town doesn't pay tax. So what I'd like to have is a credit card through our bank that would be used for purchases of, this could be used in whatever store, like Best Buy, if you went there for a computer or a part or a computer, that kind of thing. So I'd like.
Well, will they still charge you tax, or they?
No, because it's a business account, it wouldn't be taxed, and I would be able to buy it, purchase it. A lot of things you can't even get offline unless you have something like that, I remember, so. I just wanted to ask the board.
Because it's a business account, that will automatically,
It will go in as a
tax
municipality, and then they won't tax you.
Need a motion on it?
Yes, please.
Make a motion that we accept it.
I'll second it.
In a vote, please. Jeannie?
yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes. The auditors got after me about not having online banking. There's a better paper trail, there's a lot of benefits to it. You don't have to drive to the bank every day of the week, which we've been doing here with that. So I had the bank come in and do a demonstration, presentation, I guess what I want to say, on online banking. It's a whole lot easier to keep track of the paperwork, and I'd like to be able to to do this online banking with our town. Most of the towns are already doing it, we're not. I was doing it by just driving to the bank each time, but it's, again, pretty costly, and then sometimes you can't get there, so then therefore you're putting stuff off, and, so, in your packets, you have a resolution. I'm not gonna read it, it's about I'll probably be about 2 pages, but typewritten properly. A resolution to have the town on board with online banking. It would still be myself or Ellen would be the only ones that would be able to authorize any checks, that kind of thing. So it's the same thing we have, except for you can do it transfers online. And what they wanted to do was have a dedicated computer for just banking. So in other words, it's never turned on to Facebook, it's never turned on to check emails or anything like that. So all I need to do is get a cheap computer for my desk, and that would be dedicated just to our financial part of our town.
So what you need is a motion to adopt the resolution as written?
Yes. To go to online banking.
And authorize the supervisor to basically do whatever is required, sign whatever papers are required to.
And the deputy supervisor?
Yeah, well, I have the paperwork already, so I know what we gotta have.
You have to sign something from the other paperwork.
Right. I
So
already
the
got it.
resolution would also authorize the supervisor to sign any necessary documents to open the online banking account.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution, the online banking. Authorizing,
As written.
as written, authorizing the supervisor and deputy supervisor.
Good number, Gene.
And a vote, please. Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yes.
Joey?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
And another thing that does is, it was one of their recommendations from the auditors, so that shows that we're trying to comply with what they suggested. Secretary to Supervisor, I just want this on record that it's Mindy Guerin, and her first day was July 25th, and she's on board. And is currently training with John, waiting for what we were going to do with the software. But July 25th was her first day.
We just note that in the minutes, we don't need a resolution.
No, I have boarded. Those appointment anyways. One good thing now that we've got everything up to date, I was having a hard time before, you couldn't put your fingers on where everything was. Now I can, I've got enough money to transfer into the building fund to build that garage. I wanna get going on the garage so we can get some progress on that. I've got 2 transfers that I wanted to accomplish tonight to put it there. I'm not gonna add it to the capital reserve because it's too hard to maneuver that. When we need that money, we go to permissive referendum and get that money out. There's $336,818 in the capital reserve. I have a money market account in the same bank that we're dealing with, and I wanted to transfer money into that money market account because then we can write checks out of it for that building from there.
What account is that?
It's a general money market
Is it
account.
part of the general?
For the general fund. And I wanna transfer 500,000 out of, one account, which is the general accounts. It's a different one. It's, our general checking account is what it is. And I wanna put that in to this money market account. And I wanna transfer out of accounts payable 300,000 and put into this account.
Don't lose that piece of paper.
And I won't.
Yeah.
So these are all transfers between
They're
general accounts that have been established?
right. One's in our accounts payable, and we shouldn't have that much money in there anyways. And that's, we're pulling 300,000 out of there and putting it in this money market account. The general checking account, we had way too much money in there also, and as we found out where everything is, this is right up to date today, so I want to transfer 500,000 out of that and put into the money market account. That's a total of $800,000 going into that account.
And will that all go toward that building?
That'll go toward the building and, yeah, go.
Although,
As far as
you can change your mind about that, I mean, it's not.
Money market isn't made specific,
Right.
so you can't change it. So in other words, some of these lawsuits, if we had to have money, we could write a check out of there also. The only other thing in there is some money for the powerhouse in that grant. We've got that separated, so I know what's in there. That would give us about a little over 1.2 million to work on a building. So that's, that should be enough to do it up pretty good. So what we wanna do is wanna make sure we're in the right spot, and we get going on the land. We cleared that land before up there off the Starks Road.
Cut the wood.
Yeah, it's all cut, so now it's just like berry bushes and stuff. We'll have to, if everybody agrees that that's the best spot, then we need to get that leveled out and get going on what, septic and a well and that kind of stuff, I guess.
We need a lot of filling there too, right?
Some in there,
Some, I don't know how much, but.
we can pull a lot of it down in the back there and go in there, put the big hill up in there.
So I wanna get, exactly what we want as far as, plans, so we can get them okayed and get going. I don't know if you wanted 6 bays, or some of them got 6 bays in them.
I read my number at one, quite a while ago.
Yeah, I've got those plans still in there. I don't know what we want it built out of, if we want it stick built, metal, or, there's a lot of things to think about before we start. We wanna do it right. I mean, the town needs to have a good job done, so it's done once and lasts for 100 years like this one has. The best part is it's paid for, so we save, now we can afford it, now we'll do it.
How's that gonna work for the driveway?
We'll have to
Going up
widen it a
into
little
that
bit.
Yeah, you have to widen it. You have to widen the road up through there, toward the
Toward
park.
the park.
Yeah,
We can't go the other way.
and start looking at what we wanna use for heat, and what we wanna use for materials.
By your house.
I'd like to get people working with me on this, so we get, you know, something decent here that we,
Should get a wood boiler to price of fuel.
well, or something that would supplement at least,
Yeah.
you know.
Then we can do it.
And,
Well, combination.
Yeah.
we really wanna put our heads together now and get started, and I'll start doing the paperwork, get our heads together on what we're looking for and what we're looking for, you know, how much it's gonna be. We're gonna have to go out to bid contractors to help us get it up, and, that's something we've worked hard for, and we need to get it up.
Are we gonna try and do some in-house, or is it gonna be all?
Well, a lot of the groundwork we can do in-house, and then as we go, we can see, you know, what makes sense. I know they're pretty strapped for what they're doing right now, so, I don't wanna talk for them, but Fred can as time goes on, we see what we need in there. But at least, with that money transferred, we can get started on it. And and make some progress. So we haven't shown any progress. All I've done is save because I wanted to make sure we had enough to do the job.
So what do you think of the building, Larry? Cement blocks or something else?
Well, I don't
Should
know.
stick,
So
yes.
we better look at it and see. I don't know, they got metal, they've got, you know, they got wood, you got, it's all out there for us, and we wanna make sure we do what's right, and get the best we can get. And also live within our means, so we've got enough to do it, so. Well, that's what I wanna check on, what the others around are made out of, what makes the most sense to make something out of in the North Country. That kind of thing. I know this one was cinder block, that didn't work very good, but they don't even have those anymore, I don't think. You can put your finger through these.
See a lot of them around, they go with pole barns, most of them, you know, use pole barns and they just put tin on the outside of them, insulate the inside. A lot of them have like, half of them, they use to park the trucks in, the other half is like cold storage, you know, to park whatever, just to keep it out of the weather, but they don't heat it, you know.
Yeah,
I've seen a few of those up here.
I will do with them, if everybody helps look into it, and we'll get what's right for the town, that's what we're here for. And, it should be a positive thing, should be a nice looking building when we're done, and, last the town for a long, long time, hopefully. But we need that transfer if anybody would.
So we need a motion for the transfer.
I'll make a motion to transfer.
I'll
There
second.
are transfers.
Yeah,
Two
two,
transfers.
yes.
And she's got the account numbers there, so.
I'm sorry, Joey made the motion, who seconded it? Ronnie. And a vote, please. Herb,
Yes.
Jeannie,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Joey,
Yes.
Ronnie.
Yes.
I dug up information on how much we'd spent so far out of that grant money on the powerhouse, for the asbestos, lead paint, and that kind of thing. It added up to $44,442 that we spent so far out of that grant, just to let you know. I'm sending that to that guy for his report, and trying to get the rest of the work done on it to use that grant up, so we don't lose that money. While we're talking about money, the CHIPS money that we got coming to us, we put in for 3 years worth counting this year, so it'll be 11, 12, and 13. We spent the money, and the guy claims we're getting it all back. It should add up to $256,241.61. And that's not counting any FEMA money, that's just the CHIPS money. And that's money we've already paid out on roads, so that'll be going back in your fund when it comes. It should start coming in September. We've got two roads that used to be roads in town. They're not much for roads anymore. The church road and the town line road. And you can't, they're not passable. There's water over your head in them. We've talked about them several times before. I'd like to see us abandon those roads so that they go back to their rightful owners, and also we're not required to maintain them. We either gotta maintain them or get rid of them. I don't think you can maintain them. There's water over your head and trees that big around a lot, and that's the church road and the town line road. I'd like to have that on the, we have to have the beginning and the ending of these roads.
Yeah, we have to, in order to do the paperwork, I need to have some sort of a description of the road. I don't know if we have maps showing the location and the distance.
Yeah. So I'd like to have a vote of the board to do that.
To prepare the paperwork.
Yeah. Anyone make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
And what that would do is prevent a us from having liability for these roads that aren't used.
Do I have a second?
Okay, well, if we can't get a second at this time, we'll just, we'll table it and, I don't know if you know where these roads are, where they run, but, the idea is here that, we're liable for these roads still, cause they're on the inventory, or while they're on our, they are town roads, so if somebody builds something up in there, we've gotta take care of it. So, it could be quite expensive, that's what my problem, that's why I brought it up. But we'll table it for now. Next thing, United Way, it's time for United Way. They're asking for donations, of course, as everybody else. Town can't donate to it, but if any individual wants to, I have the paperwork here. Mindy's working on our website. We thought he had all the information there. He says he doesn't. So she's got things pretty well in hand here, but they need contact numbers for each of you, or email numbers if you want them on there. If you don't, you don't have to. I'll just pass it around. If you want to, just add them on there. It'd be email and or telephone numbers or whatever if you want people to see it on. She may be asking for pictures or something to put on there also. I don't know if you want your picture on there or not, but if you do, she suggested taking a picture of the town board together and
Sure.
put it on there. Board of Elections sent us a thing that says the primary election is scheduled for September 10th, and the town offices will be the site for the town of Altona Districts 1 and 2. Machine delivery at the town offices will be Friday afternoon, September 6th. That's just for your information, so you know they are going to have a primary, and it's going to be here. One more thing before we get into the supervisor report. September's meeting, I would like to be able to change that because my daughter's going to Afghanistan and that's the only chance I'll get to see her for probably a year. And she's leaving on the 7th, so I was wondering if we could have the town board meeting on the 4th if we could, so that I'd have time to go down there and help her move her house and see her before she leaves for Afghanistan.
I'm all set.
Fine with me.
Is that okay with everybody?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll have to advertise it. I'll advertise it.
September.
September.
That's a Wednesday, I wish that one was here, I don't know if there's anything going on Wednesday, September 4th. I didn't see anything listed, so. I would like to have had it on Tuesday, but for hot court's Tuesday, so that wouldn't work, so we'll have to go Wednesday.
I started working afternoons again, I'll try to get it off, but if not, then
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
be
so you
out.
may
I
miss
might,
it.
I might have to miss it.
Okay, so I'll advertise that in the press and everything, I appreciate it, because otherwise it would be a long spell there.
I could probably take an hour off.
She's
just
leaving
now.
the 7th, that doesn't give you much time
I know.
to get there and move.
Working
Well,
right here.
she's gonna be
Yeah,
gone, I'll move her
maybe
after
I'll-
she goes, I just wanna be able to see her
I'll
before
come
she
to bed,
goes. I wish they wouldn't even send her, that's what it is. Supervisor's report, I guess, isn't it?
I make a motion to accept supervisor's report.
I'll second it.
And a vote, please. Herb,
Yes,
Ronnie,
Yes.
Joey,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Jeannie.
Yes.
You'll notice that it has, more on it than it had before, the revenues are all on there for both highway and, so everything's more visible there. What else we got? Carol, you wanna give a report on your mess you have in there with your program or your computer?
Well, we replaced the computer in the office, which is fine, except when we went to hook it up, there was no ports that allowed for the decals program. So we've been playing with that since. We've had Charlie come in and he put adapters on it and he said, well, you're gonna have to call your software company. So I called the software company and they said, sorry, can't help you. You better call decals. So I called decals and they said, sorry, we don't do that. So we called Charlie back, and so Charlie's thinking about it.
Charlie, better research it over the weekend, you'll
Yeah.
figure it out. You will.
But they said, one of them said maybe that if we did a serial card or something that you could do up at Best Buy. We don't know at this time. I've had calls saying when a new fishing license is on. Can't do anything with it. He got the printer, the receipt printer hooked up, but I can't print the licenses. So at this point, I'm down.
Fred, you got anything to add? No, you're working Jerusalem, trying to fix it so it doesn't wash out every time you turn around there. And, anybody else, anything for the board? Anybody?
when we get,
Approval of bills.
when we get this, do we have like, our savings, all the savings, like the money we make for the park, is this all in
It
there?
should be all.
Everything is in
Everything's
there?
in there up to date.
What money we have in the savings for the town,
Yep,
everything? Okay.
the bank accounts aren't listed there.
Can we do that? Can we put them in there?
Well, the only thing is, you don't want those account numbers out and about, but I can give
Know
you.
what the amounts? We have the amounts put in.
I can.
I think that'd be a good thing, actually,
I can give it to you on a sheet of paper. I've got it already.
if you could.
That one that you have, I'll just block out the
Sure.
account numbers and, yeah, you can have them.
Appreciate it.
It's okay, I'll copy it, so. I can't do it without your help anyway, 'cause I don't know who's doing what.
Okay. Yeah, I can give you that, I can give you that before you go home, don't you?
No, I thought maybe if we had that
These
much,
are the revenue.
was added to this.
These
Well,
were
we
on
could
there
just see them.
before.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, these were added in, they weren't on there before.
Oh, we don't pay the bills.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the bills.
I'll second it.
And a vote, please. Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie?
Yeah.
Joey?
Yes.
And you have two to sign, prepaid and those unpaid.
Everybody remember to have their calendars up to date, the end of this month.
We're gonna have a meeting.
We'll get together.
We got them all in dates yet.
Get them all straightened up. at the same time. I'm glad you brought that up, so I forgot to say it.
We'll meet you at the store, Jeannie. You can buy it.
She's not letting you cheat yet.
No, her hand up.
That's mine.
Is that mine yet?
There you are.
See the sheriff.
Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Nobody wants to go.
Yeah.
No.
Second.
And a vote, please. Larry?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Herb?
Yes.
Ronnie? Joey?
Yes.
There are dates